Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Friends, before going into the details of the war, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell. Please support by subscribing and turning on the notification bell. We are a strong community. Ukraine and Israel discuss military assistance in Iranian drones. Dmytro Kuleba, Ukrainian foreign minister, held a telephone conversation with Yair Lapid, Israeli Prime Minister, on Thursday, October 20. The minister wrote about this on Twitter. During the conversation, they discussed Ukraine's appeal to Israel for air defense, missile defense systems and technologies. The foreign minister informed his vis-a-vis about casualties and destruction due to Russian missile strikes and the use of Iranian kamikaze drones. Spoke to Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid and informed him of the untold suffering, loss of life and destruction caused by Iranian-made Russian missiles and drones, Kuleba wrote. The ministers also discussed possible military assistance for Ukraine, in particular in air defense. We discussed in detail Ukraine's request to Israel to provide air defense and missile defense systems and technologies, the head of the foreign ministry wrote. The minister did not specify what was the outcome of the conversation, or whether any solution was found on the issue. In turn, Lapid confirmed the fact of such a conversation, but did not go into the details of the discussion. He noted that he shared with Kuleba deep concern over military ties between Iran and Russia. He also added that Israel stands with the Ukrainian people. On October 18, Ukraine appealed to Israel with an official request to launch cooperation in the field of missile and air defense. The corresponding letter was sent by the Embassy of Ukraine in Israel to the National Foreign Ministry. Ukraine says it is interested in getting missile, air defense systems to protect civilians as soon as possible. The appeal says that soon Russia will receive from the Islamic Republic of Iran the Fateh 110 and Zulfiqar missile systems. And earlier, the Russian Federation received a significant number of Shahed 136 kamikaze drones and Mojaher-6 reconnaissance and strike UAVs. The Ukrainian side draws attention to the fact that without proper opposition, Iran will be able to test the effectiveness of its weapons on the battlefield and will be able to improve them. Thus, this will threaten the security of Israel. Earlier, the Israeli government offered to help Ukraine develop an early warning system against missile strikes. Israeli Defense Minister Benny Gantz said on October 19 that his country would not supply weapons to Ukraine to counter the Russian invasion. Israel sent a request to Ukraine on information exchange concerning the country's needs for air defense systems and, after receiving a response, will be able to help develop a rescue system for early warning of civilians. The Israeli warning system uses a combination of radar and electro-optical devices to detect rocket, projectile and drone launches. It classifies and identifies the threats they pose. Then it puts areas at risk on the map. Citizens receive warnings through sirens, notifications on their phones, and messages on television and radio. Everyone does what they can. Ukraine's Mykhylivka recovers from occupation. Mykhylivka, a quiet town on the Dnipro River in southern Ukraine, was one of the first in Kherson region to be captured during the Russian invasion, and things are now getting back to normal after the Ukrainian military retook it on October 2. France 24 reports. Mykhylivka was lucky to escape bombardment during the 7 months it was occupied, but soon after Ukrainian forces recaptured the town, a Russian missile landed in the schoolyard. There were no victims, but all the windows were blown out. But the head teacher was not intimidated and took it upon himself to help repair the damage. Everyone is busy, said school principal Yevhen Nakonetchi. Some lend out their vehicles, everyone does what they can. One by one, we deal with the consequences of this missile attack. In this spirit, the inhabitants of Mykhylivka help each other just as they did during the occupation. Marina Maminchik has been a home care nurse for over 20 years. She could have left last March, but decided to stay in order to help out those not able to leave. We see 40 to 50 people a day, she said. Some have psychological problems, some have high blood pressure, and some people are alone, without children, who have lost wives or husbands, who just come to see me. Russia destroys power and water infrastructure across Ukraine. Russia destroys power and water infrastructure across Ukraine. Share. Published 13 minutes ago on October 21, 2022 by EU reporter correspondent. Sign up to our weekly newsletter to receive exclusive interviews, articles and videos. Enter your email address. We use your sign up to provide content in ways you've consented to and to improve our understanding of you. You can unsubscribe at any time. Russia has nearly destroyed a third of Ukraine's power stations in the last week, President Volodymyr Zelensky stated on Tuesday, the 18th of October. Moscow rained further missiles on infrastructure in what Kyiv called a campaign to intimidate civilians. 3 people were killed when missiles hit power stations in Kyiv's capital. 1 person was killed when his Mykolaiv South flat was destroyed. Russia has admitted to targeting Ukraine's energy infrastructure using drone and missile strikes since last week's start. This was in what President Vladimir Putin called legitimate retaliation for the blast on a bridge. Kyiv and West both claim that intentionally attacking civilian infrastructure was a war crime. The attacks, which are meant to leave Ukrainians without heat or power when winter arrives, are Putin's latest tactic for escalating a war his forces have lost. The situation in the country is very critical right now. The whole country must prepare for electricity, water, and heating outages, Kyrylo Tymoshenko, deputy head, said to Ukrainian television. Reuters reported 3 explosions in Mykolaiv on Tuesday morning. One wing of a downtown building was completely destroyed by a missile, leaving behind a large crater. The body of a victim was pulled from the rubble by a fire crew. Alexander, the owner of a nearby flower shop, said that Russians probably take pleasure in this. Zelensky stated that Russia continued to terrorize and kill Ukrainian civilians. He wrote that 30% of Ukraine's power plants have been destroyed since October 10, which caused massive blackouts throughout the country. Zelensky reiterated that he would not negotiate with Putin, who he claims is a terrorist state. After the Russian leader annexed 4 Ukrainian provinces, Zelensky decided to eschew negotiations with Putin. After suffering humiliating battlefield losses, Putin also summoned hundreds of thousands of reservists to his side and repeatedly threatened with using nuclear weapons. Kamikaze drones. It was not immediately clear how many people were killed in the strikes on Tuesday. A day earlier, Russia sent swarms of drones in attack on infrastructure in Kyiv and other cities. At least 5 people were killed. Moscow denies intentionally targeting civilians. However, it has pummeled villages and towns across Ukraine in what it initially called special military operations to disarm its neighbor. The Russian Defense Ministry reiterated earlier statements, claiming that it was using high-precision weapons to attack what it called military targets and the energy infrastructure in Ukraine. Russia accuses Ukraine of using Iranian-made Shahed 136 kamikaze drones, which are designed to fly to their target and explode. They are denied by Iran, and the Kremlin denies using them on Tuesday. 2 senior Iranian officials and 2 Iranian diplomats said to Reuters that Tehran had vowed to provide Russia more drones and surface-to-surface rockets. This move was sure to anger the United States and its allies. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video.